You know what really frustrates me is the people that have taken to the Dragon Age series and fell in love with the lore and the world that was created will now have to deal with whatever these new developers over at BioWare are doing with Dragon Age the Veilguard. And from all accounts, with the recently leaked information from a QA tester, it's not looking good. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT, and a huge shout out going out to Nuhre for providing a banger of a video that openly discusses the problems with the game, drowning in a mess of divisive DEI themes, alienating fans with immersion-breaking choices, and narrative decisions that are detracting from what could have been an overall extremely engaging and exciting RPG experience. But from what I've seen so far and everything personally that I've taken in listening to the actual developers and seeing the game, I want nothing to do with this. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down this incredible interview, giving us great insight as to what the game actually entails and how it turns into more of a indoctrination of ideologies instead of, I don't know, a Dragon Age game?
Yeah, because I thought you couldn't choose your sexuality. You could choose like your pronouns and that's it. No?
No, yes, I can, like, of course there is a pronouns that's shove it in your throat. That's absolutely just like Starfield. Same thing. But, like there is, like a male, female, non-binary.
The first complaint that's brought up by the playtester is how Veilguard forces pronouns front and center, completely breaking the immersion for gamers. For example, the Kunari companion introduces themselves in a jarringly modern way, saying, and I'm not making this up, "I identify myself as non-binary," because that's what I want to hear when I go into a fantasy world. I want to get involved in all this DEI slop. I want to find out about surgery scars. I want to find out about how all these people are questioning their sexuality. Yeah, that's what I look forward to in a Dragon Age game.
For example, she told me that I am a non-binary person. How the hell that a fantasy game in like Thedas have the word
Oh my god.
non-binary?
In there, yeah, I've seen that a lot. Like, gonna, finna. Like, what are you fucking doing? Why are you talking like
Seriously?
this? Oh my god. So the companion told you,
yeah.
oh, I'm non-binary.
Yeah, she said that I don't like men and I don't like women. I identify myself as non-binary.
Just like that.
And that's just like that.
Not even a new word. Like, they didn't even make up like a new word in lore.
No.
No, just I'm non-binary.
And taking straight from the BioWare Discord, can we choose our protagonist pronouns, she, he, they? And Brendan Holmes said, yes, you can. That's right. And then they asked, will the gender identity of a trans or non-binary rook be acknowledged in the game by the other characters beyond just pronouns? And Green Bush, the developer behind Dragon Age that used to be a dude but then transitioned into apparently being a woman, said, there are moments when you can disclose and discuss. However, disclosure remains the right of the individual, so you have to make that choice yourself. Notice how the lead developer is someone who personally transitioned themselves, and now they are proactively injecting that kind of ideology in a game they're working on, which, by the way, as a developer, you're more than welcome to do. But at the same time, gamers have the right to not buy your game.
Okay, so they have claimed that everyone is, you can romance anyone you want, but if you are... I hate him.
I was talking with a person that he was playtested with me, and I told him, did you... he said, no, since you are doing the heterosexual, I will do the opposite, and we will find out what's the outcomes is. I got only 2 women, and he romanced everyone.
The playtester continues talking about the romance options in the game and how they're locked behind DEI themes, saying that romances were initially gender-locked unless you chose a pronoun other than he, him. To fully explore the romance options, the player's character must be pansexual. Otherwise, you're limited to only 2 romance options. The original intent to lock romances behind identity politics has got to make you question what the heck were the devs thinking when it comes to the romance options in the game. It almost feels like they're overthinking this to make sure that their ideologies with it are front and center.
It's baffling. It like Solus,
Yes.
Solus. He is like like the god. He is the Dread Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
They make him so like put him on the side. He don't like he
Doesn't do
don't.
anything.
No, he basically in the fade, and basically we will talk to him every now and then, and that's it.
The playtester goes on talking about the beloved characters of Solus and Rook and how they're being treated like yesterday's news, taking a back seat. Solus was a fan favorite from the Dragon Age Inquisition, and they're being sidelined for most of the game, relegated to a minor role with little importance until suddenly becoming relevant far later on in the game. Worse yet, the ending is being described as baffling, and not in a good way.
The fate of the entire Thedas on his hand.
That is worse than we were actually like theorizing, because we thought that he got hired like weeks in advance or something. So he just literally
No,
it's found in the bar.
He was drinking the bar, and that's it. And they took him.
That is crazy, actually.
Yeah, because apparently he was like he knew Varric and his spy network, and Varric wants someone to help him out, and that's the reason why he
And
joined.
well, yeah, might as well be Rook. Oh my god, that's actually so much worse than we were actually thinking.
Yeah.
And then we have Rook being voiced by the controversial figure that I've talked about quite a bit previously, Erika Ishii. And Rook is another significant character that's been reduced to a shadow of his former self. Rook is now apparently little more than a side character, just like a guy in a bar with a backstory that's being wasted and contributes almost nothing to the overall plot of the game. For longtime fans, this treatment again feels like a betrayal of characters that they had been growing attached to over the years. Almost like Dragon Age the Veilguard developers were saying, yeah, we understand what you want and what you like, but too bad, so sad, we're going to make the game we want to make, and you're just going to eat it.
This is a Rook in Dragon Age the Veilguard. Some of you might know me from my work as Valkyrie in Apex Legends, or Anna Bray in Destiny 2, or maybe you've seen me on Dropout's Game Changer or Dimension 20. But this is the first time that I have taken on the role of a protagonist in a big AAA game, and as a longtime fan of Dragon Age and an unrepentant solo veteran, I am both terrified and thrilled to have the Dragon Age community hear me in Thedas. Additionally, as someone who identifies as gender fluid, it means the world to me to have the option to play as a trans or non-binary main character in a Dragon Age game. I can look the way that I want, and I can speak with my voice in a world that sees me for who I am.
And then furthermore, the Dragon Age series is known for one of those games that has choices and can direct the game based off the choices. But the playtester was talking about how the Inquisitor from the previous game is painted as corrupt, with the Inquisition itself playing a negligible role regardless of whether you disbanded it. Worse yet, the game's choices apparently don't matter, echoing a disastrous finale of Mass Effect 3, where the illusion of choice left players thinking that there would be something happening and having meaningful consequences, but ultimately, at the end of the day, just an unsatisfying feeling because no matter what you pick, the game is on rails and is going to go somewhere anyways. So at the end of the day, what's it matter?
That's why the three choices that they picked are the ones that matter, because this is it. That's it. Like, it's Mass Effect 3 basically again.
Yeah.
One of the most damning revelations from the playtester is how the feedback on the game's development had been systematically ignored in order to push the lead developer's vision, especially when it touched on the game's heavy-handed woke themes. The playtester noted that the higher-ups even were acknowledging the feedback was good, but claimed that they couldn't be sending it to the developers because this was kind of their baby, and it didn't really matter what you thought, even if you were a QA tester, which made me wonder, why did they even have the QA testers? I mean, I guess obviously to find the bugs and glitches in the game, but when I was a QA tester at Sony, it wasn't just to strictly find the bugs and glitches in games, it was also to playtest the overall experience and make sure it makes sense and that it was something that was a conducive experience to the overall gameplay. And I would have conversations with the developers and give recommendations based off my feelings of, here's what the game did, here's what it would make sense if you did this with it. I feel like this is ideally the best direction to take for the game to make the experience better. But apparently, when it came to Dragon Age the Veilguard, no, none of that really mattered. They just wanted someone to playtest the game and make sure that you could complete it without too many bugs or glitches in it.
That is crazy. And the fact that they've been saying, oh, we're listening to the fans, we're listening to our audience. And then you literally got paid to give feedback and to say, like, hey, this is good, this is bad. And they don't listen to you.
No,
Because...
you know why? Because I was the only one passionate about the game. They didn't, select people if they are good at, like Dragon Age or they are fan of Dragon Age. No, they literally just select.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, like random people,
The woke ideology bleeds into the game's lore in troubling ways as well. Grey Warden Darvin, a new character who never completed his training, is now given the power to make critical decisions for all the Grey Wardens. The only explanation? He's a person of color, because, of course, allowing him to be fast-tracked into leadership role despite his lack of experience perfectly encapsulates everything that is wrong with DEI in the first place.
Grey Warden, he have no idea about anything for the Grey Warden. He basically a scout in the Grey Warden that he didn't fully finish his training, and now after we because we played in the Whiteout, the castle, in the Underfell, so we went there, and he was the one that decided the entire Grey Warden once again. And he is nobody.
So just a guy that is just new to the fucking Grey Wardens gets to decide everything.
Yeah. Why? Because he is like have a different skin tone.
And the worst part is the developers are acting like this is a totally normal stance to take, that a person of color should just be raised up to the higher echelons of society and make these decisions just because they're a person of color. And it's just like, what are we doing here? The anonymous playtester being interviewed also highlighted a bunch of other problems with the game that I could go into for hours on end here, about how the Fade is nothing more than a boring walking simulator, and that Varric has been relegated to just being a role of advisor. There's a lot of things that have taken a backseat to this game. Most importantly, the fun aspect of it. It feels like that's the one thing they forgot to do when it came to Dragon Age the Veilguard, is they just had this agenda in mind. They're like, oh, I'm a developer. I can just, type on this keyboard and make these characters come to life and push my woke ideologies. Instead of, I don't know, making a video game. Instead, they've changed it into making a political statement and pushing some sort of orientation with these characters. And it just makes you wonder, who is this even for? Like, I'm sure the modern audience has a handful of people that they just feel like, oh, this game was made for me. It speaks to me on another level that no one else ever seems to appreciate.
He, him, she, her, and they, them, and then your gender is man, woman, non-binary. Love that. Love the inclusivity. Top surgery scars are also included in this for all of our trans and non-binary rooks out there. I absolutely was blown away by this. It's beautiful to see the inclusion in the game and to see yourself represented.
And you know what? For those 7 or 12 people out there, I'm really happy that they found a game made specifically tailored for them. But you know what really breaks my heart? Is all the millions of fans of the Dragon Age series that are going to be heartbroken when they start playing this game when it launches. And right there is the biggest problem with all of it. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information or links, resources to the video that I talked about here and everything else, including additional stuff I didn't even talk about, check out smashjt.com. I will link this article in the description below. If you appreciate what I'm doing, please consider hitting that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Valara, oh, my dear sweet Valara. I relate to Valara a lot. She is joyous. She's been through a lot, but she remains curious, optimistic. She's kind of a geek. She really likes her fiction. She fangirls over Nev a little bit. She's just so relatable. And I think that's what our players will find and fall in love with when they get to meet Valara. Smash it,